Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back again to another video upload from Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apex Elenio, your pool player and pool instructor. Of course, in today's upload, you're looking at part 2 of a 3-part series highlighting one of the most epic and most, I should say, greatest match that I've ever played in my 10-year career as a professional amateur pool player. Now what you're seeing here on the screen is currently the ending part of the rack of the previous upload. Please be sure to take the time out and take a look at that. But not only am I going to highlight the fact that I played very well and I took every opportunity that was presented to me, I must highlight also that the performance was not as flawless as my voice may be dictating to you here. There were mistakes being made, and of course it was only one too many mistakes. All my opponents that you're gonna see coming on the table, once more they all got an opportunity to remove me off the table. One player in particular, that young man in the white, he actually got the best opportunity to take me out because he actually got onto the 8, which you're gonna see he dreadfully missed that shot. But we're just gonna be focusing on just the approach taken towards the game, the approach taken towards the match, how composed I was, and of course I never doubted myself. I still was not convinced that I am capable of actually winning the whole entire tournament. It was more along the path of just playing the game as it comes along. So whatever opportunity that came my direction, I did my very best to capitalize. So if this is the first time you're on the channel, of course consider subscribing, liking and sharing my content, and if you feel generous you can actually contribute towards my channel growth using the PayPal link that is there on the screen, and of course a link will be provided in the description box below for you. Alright, so we're gonna jump right away into the starting rack of part 2, and I'm actually playing here St. Clair Swaby. This is the first time that you're gonna be seeing him, and he will be the last player of the round that I will be playing in my first set. Alright, then I'm gonna go back to playing the first player that I actually played in the in part 1. Alright, so here we go. A nice break off there, and of course the assessment of the rack begins. That was a powerful break. Balls are nicely spread out onto the table. There's not much cluster, so it's all about choosing the correct shot, the correct started shot here to begin the rack. And already I'm just assessing different zones in which I will need to fall. I'm calculating possible potential problems. So with that assessment that has taken place, I've decided to go with the solids. Now one thing that I've learned over my entire career is that once you're playing the game of pool, the less movement that the cue ball has is the better it will be for you to control the out. Less you can bump into object balls is going to be the better for you to actually run the rack. And there you can see, as best as I possibly can, I am actually trying to avoid any obstacle that I need to. Alright, so as I said, the break was really good. I only have 3 balls left on the table, but I have a difficult shot here. I believe I have that 7 ball that is going to be a major issue, because I would need to be on the right side of the table nearest to the 5 to pocket the 7 in the top left. But the cue ball has a bit too much angle on the 4 ball here, so I'm going to try to develop. I'm going to try to cut it into the side and try to break up that little cluster there with the 8, the 8 and the 7 ball up on the top side of the table. If I had a more flat angle, I could have stun draw into the side rail where the 5 is, and I would have gotten an easier shot there on the 7. but unfortunately being on the wrong side with too much angle causes me to be in the position to which you're now seeing. So definitely this is where you're seeing where I'm about to give my opponent the first opportunity to take me off the table. Looking at the rack here, clearly he does not have much of a problem. The first thing that I assess as I'm looking at, I'm about to miss my shot now, but I decided to actually go for the kick shot here on the 5. I was still being aggressive, which after watching the match I recognized that there may have been other options which I did not actually look at, but it did work out for me in the end. Not gonna say it's the best option, but of course I'm looking forward to hearing your comments as it relates to what you would have done if you were in the position that I am in at the moment. Leave your comments down below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I also wanted to leave a comment or leave comments down in the section based on what mistakes you thought that my opponents could have avoided in order to remove me from the table. So here I tried to go for the aggressive kick and I got a bit too much on the cue ball there, and now I've just given up one of the most deadly things that you can actually do in the game to yourself, is give up ball in hand. Now all my opponents that you're going to be seeing throughout this match, in part 1, in part 2, and also in part 3, they are all capable players. They are not professionals, but they are really strong amateur players who are capable of running racks, and they can run up to 2 or 3 racks if given the chance, and the table is quite open. So there already you can see he immediately identifies his first problem ball, which is the 13, and now he's back into the middle of the table there where he now has a open layout. Now it is at this point now, guys, I would love for you to leave your comment down below and let me know how you would actually run this pattern. Now pay attention to the way how he has decided to run the rack, and of course let me know if you would have tried to run it a different way. What mistakes did he make? Of course, my channel primarily is to highlight the best and great moments. Of course, we are here to teach, share knowledge, and of course grow together. So he has decided to go for the ball into the side. Guess he's just going to stun draw a little bit. Left himself with a nice angle there on the 10. The 14 ball easily goes into the side. It's a little bit close to the rail, but if he lands nicely on it, then he should be able to actually pocket the 14. Now it is at this point that I thought that the shot that he's going for now, I don't think he needed to go for that shot. I think that he could have pocket the 10 ball and come back out to the middle of the table for the 9, because that 14 ball would have been a key ball to get onto the 8. So here you can see he went for the 9 ball and he almost sold out the game and scratched. He didn't. He was fortunate, but he has left himself a little bit close to the jaws of the pocket. I think he's able to see it, so he was a bit lucky there. But now he's just going to pocket this 11 and still he would be able to run the rack here. So just nicely roll this with top spin, bumping off the first rail, back out near to the side rail there. And here is where I believe, and I'm sure, I can almost be convinced that a little bit of nerves. Remember, this is my sixth game in a row. This is my 7th game. I'm assuming that a lot of you guys would not have missed this shot, but considering the nerves and the pressure of the crowd that is there looking at him, I think the nerves got the better of him and he missed that shot horribly, because he missed that shot almost by the second diamond. As you're gonna see, the crowd was stunned and everybody just walked right out of the arena there. They are in disbelief as it relates to how is it even possible for him to actually miss that shot. They were absolutely bewildered by the chance that he got there to remove me from the table after running 6 games. He has given me a chance back at the table that I shouldn't have gotten. And as I mentioned in the introduction of the video, it was just one too many mistakes that my opponents had made, after giving them an opportunity, they tried and did their very best to remove me from the table, but they made one too many mistakes. And so with that said, they are oftentimes going to get punished. In this here, it is where I begin to feel the dead stroke coming in. And so with that nice bank shot there on the 7, I sent the crowd a message that once given an opportunity to remove me from the table, you better take it or you are going to feel and face the repercussions. So that there brings us to the end of my 6th game in a row, or is that my 7th game? I believe that is my 6th game in a row, right? And ST, as we call him, he got a very, very good opportunity there to remove me from the table, and it did not work out in his favor there. He missed an elementary shot, but nevertheless he still has an opportunity to come back to redeem himself. That can have a really, really negative impact on your mind and on the way how you perceive the game. So let's see how he recovers when he gets back to the table. I'm now proceeding now to play my other opponent here. I believe I'm going to go back to playing Mr. Westburn Finley, young talent as I mentioned before. He too also got an opportunity in part 1 where he could have removed me from the table from early, but he too also messed up his chances, and so he has now returned back to the table to redeem himself. So once again, a nice break shot here. There is more of a cluster in this rock than the previous one, but assessing the rock as we speak here, solids looks to be the better choice, which already I've gone down. I've immediately assessed the rock. I've already seen my first 3 shots that I'm going to play. So let's pocket that 5 back out near to the center of the table here, and I'm just going to be clearing that top half of the table with the 2 and the 7 and get back down here to clear out the 1, the 3 and the 6 ball. So let's have a look here. Nice stun shot there again, keeping it close. Less movement on the cue ball is better. I will need to get back out to the middle of the table, and I want to stay on the left side of the 9 ball there. I'm a bit stretched, so I'm using the mechanical bridge here as an assistance. Just playing with a bit of top spin. Please bear in mind that the table here we are playing with a Simonis 360 cloth. We are playing on a Simonis 360 cloth. The table is an 8-foot table. It's very fast, very bouncy, but also is a very old table. So there is a bit of inconsistency in terms of the bounce, and if you don't time your stroke correctly, you can find yourself under rolling or over rolling on certain shots. So here I'm on the 4, just probably stunning over into the 5 here, holding position for the 6. Nicely done. Believe I was a little bit lucky there on that shot because I catch the 5 on the top side. I could have snookered myself. That 11 ball could have come back and left me bridging over it, which would have made this shot a bit tougher, but now I'm in primary position here just to roll this 6 ball in and leave a natural angle from the 3 to get back onto the 1. Ideally here, I think that the ideal shot here would have been to, I'm a little bit jacked up though, so just kind of rolling the cue ball and just taking whatever the table offers me here, but I've over rolled a little bit. And once again, this is a mental blunder. This is more of a mental blunder than it is a physical blunder, because again, as I mentioned before, the table is quite quick, so misjudging the speed by just a little bit could put you in an awkward position, as you see here. Now the cue ball is on the wrong side of the 1 and I only have 1 pocket, so I'm gonna have to put a stroke on this 1 ball here after pocketing the 1 to get back onto the 8, which is on the left side of the table. I'll provide a link in the description below and also a link right there in the card for you where you can find out how to play shots like these. This is actually close to a 30-degree cut shot here. At the time of playing this match, I did not know it was that. It was just in recent times that I figured out that this shot is far easier than it appears to be. So let's see the stroke I placed on the 1 ball here. Just a bit of low spin here, stroking this ball and coming back over to the center or to the left side of the table here. Nicely done, very well. And you can hear the crowd and a few of the patrons giving the shot an applause. It is at this point that I knew that I was in the dead stroke zone. But here comes another physical blunder, and this has more to do with my fundamentals. You can see that I was clearly on the 8 and I missed that 8 really bad. I believe that I may have applied a bit of unwanted side spin. I was just simply trying to stroke the 8 ball in. There's absolutely no excuse for missing that shot, and once again I've given my opponent an opportunity, even though the layout is a bit tough because he has a cluster of balls down here, which you're gonna see him coming around to have a look at that area where he needs to be to clear up that cluster. He has a tough shot on the 11. It's a back cut. He also has a thin cut onto the 15. So here is where it comes down to decision making. Now please bear in mind that the player that you're seeing here on the screen and all the other players, they are not professionals. They are simply learning the game and they're doing the best that they can with the knowledge that they have. So whatever you think would have been the better option to take, they may not have been seen it that way because clearly they're still in the learning stage of their game. So this assessment here by Western Finlay is taking a bit of time. Naturally, if I wasn't doing what I was doing on the table, running rocks, winning so many games, beating everybody on the table, he perhaps would have gone down and pocketed a couple of shots already. But he knows that one mistake too many will cost him, and so he decided to take the back cut, the tough back cut here. And I believe that he just kind of wants to solve his problem area down to the bottom of the table here sooner rather than later. But it's a bit risky because if he misses, which he will, he's not going to leave himself an opportunity to get back to the table. And there you can see missing that shot there by almost a half of a diamond. You could almost say that is a bit of mental pressure. You could almost say that is a bit of nerves. I'm not sure. He did not disclose to me what happened on that shot, but I think that he did not pocket the ball, or he did not set himself up to pocket the shot as accurately as he can. So again, another rock where my opponent got a chance to remove me from the table, but one too many mistakes definitely will cause him to lose, and so that result was achieved. Right? So yes, this is my 7th game in a row, and we are going untrod. We are continuing this epic match. I share this moment with you simply because it's one of my special moments, and I want you all to see that I have been a very consistent player over my whole entire decade that I've been playing. I've won a lot of tournaments, I've won a lot of gambling matches, I've done a lot in this game, and so I'm just here to pass on knowledge and share great moments with you. So the player now that is coming on the table was a player that did not get a chance in part 1 when you first saw him, General Mackenzie. So he's now coming on the table. As you can see, he's not yet in the picture, but you will see him in the picture in a few once he gets a chance to come to the table. So starting off with the break shot here, again a nice break. Let's see the cluster. Let's see if there's any cluster there. The 8 ball is a bit tied up with the 9 ball, and it seems as if the solid balls are going to be the options to take. Since the 9 ball is tied up with the 8, I think I have a 7 ball close to the pocket which could be used as a breakout ball. So already, without taking much time, I'm already in dead stroke zone. I've decided to go for the solids, which is the easiest shot. Cue ball overrolled a little bit there. I wanted to be more in the middle of the table where I had options to pocket the 3 ball or the 6 ball. Roll up a bit high, but I'm still okay because now I have the 4 ball that I can pocket into the side. Right, so I've decided here, it seems as if I have a natural angle that will take me 1, 2, maybe 3 reels to go behind the 8 to break it out. So I think that is what I'm going to go for. It's an aggressive shot, but the angle is there. So 1, 2, 3 reels from behind. I tried to break out the 8, but it did not work out. So I'm still left with a problem that I need to solve. I have the 6 ball here. I have the 5 ball all the way down to the bottom of the table. But the cue ball has landed in an area that, should I make a thin cut on the 7 here, the natural cue ball's path will take me into the cluster. And hopefully if I can hit the 8 on the right side, then I should be able to come outside to get a shot on the 6 and the 7. Unfortunately though, I hit that 7 ball a bit too thick, and now I've run into my opponent's obstacle ball, and now I've left myself with no shot here. So now my opponent again is going to get an opportunity at the table. My opponent, again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, my performance was very, very good in terms of the capitalization on every opportunity presented. And given my opponent a chance and they did not take it, I was able to finish the rock and make amends for any mistake or error that I had made. So here I've left myself tough, and I'm actually just going to go for a 2-reel kick. I'll leave a link in the description and right there in the cards for you, where you can actually learn how to play kick shots like these. Even though on this table and on this particular shot I missed the kick, I actually try to go for 2 hits at once. If I miss the 6, I'll get the 5. If I miss the 5, I'll get the 6. But clearly there you can see that the calculation was a bit off, and I was not able to actually make contact with any of my object balls. So now my opponent here has an opportunity to remove me from the table once again. This is now the 3rd player that has gotten his or her chance, well in this case his chance, to remove him from the table. Now let's have a look at his layout here. He only has one problem here, which is the 9 ball tied up with the 8. I do believe that maybe the correct shot here would have been to try to break out the 9 from now, clearing up the problems. As you can see, he's having a look at that exact option. He's thinking about pocketing the 11 and break out the 9. But I believe that he's going to use a different object ball here to pocket and break out the 9. I think he's going to take the 40 into the side, because a natural cue ball here, once he pockets the 14 into the side just with top spin, he should be able to break out the 9, and he did, and he was successful. Of course, leave me a comment down below to let me know if you would have used a different object ball to break out the rock, and of course explain your reasoning. But he did what he thought was best. Now he still has a bit of problem here, because he has the 13 ball on a combination. He has limited space to move the cue ball here, and now he's in a little bit of problem here, because now that 8 ball that is now near to the 13, I'm not sure if it has a clear path towards the top left pocket, and he would have to land pinpoint on that shot. And that 10 ball needs, not that 10 ball, pardon me, that 14 ball needs some development. So he decides to pocket the 11 and come around, but I believe that he has underrolled the shot now. He has left himself tough, because my object balls are wide open, and I believe the 8 ball has a clear path to the top right pocket. So it's about decision here. Will he take the tough 10 ball straight down into the bottom right corner pocket here? He's having a look at the combination line to see if it actually goes. There's a little bit of space between the 13 and the 14 ball here. So he has to be aware of the cut-induced throw and of course the spin transfer and the spin-induced throw. So he decided to go for the aggressive combination. But again, he did not make use of his opportunity here. And now he has left a player that is in dead stroke zone with an open table like this. The crowd is in a frenzy, as you can see. The more racks I win is the more players you see coming from the back of the arena, coming to see what is happening here, what's going on. Of course, it's not like in part 1 where they wanted me to actually defeat the players and slow down the remaining players. In part 1, they would have been cheering me on. But in part 2, it seems as if I'm getting into a zone where I'm now taking complete control of the whole tournament. And here you can see another blunder. And this is more of a physical and also mental blunder, because that shot on the toe there, it did not have as much angle as I wanted. So I tried to force the angle. I tried to play with a bit of center, but I applied a bit too much draw. So stun kind of dragged the ball a bit low, and now it has left me on the rail. It has left me with a tough 3 ball, absolutely tough. I'm not sure you can see, I'm having a look there to see if it actually goes. The shot is tough because I'm on the rail, and the distance and of course the pressure, and most importantly, I must be able to execute the shot and still maintain position on the 6 ball to get onto the 8. So it is at this point, as I mentioned before, that I knew that the dead stroke was activated in full effect. And with a shot like this under pressure, and you're able to execute this and still maintain composure, shows there that it's an absolutely great execution of pool being played. So the crowd there giving a light applause for a great shot or a great recovery shot. So the natural angle here, cutting the 6 ball into the side, will bring me very close to the 8. So speed control is going to be essential in actually staying in this match. As I mentioned before, guys, the whole entire match was not a flawless performance. It wasn't 15 break and runs. It was 15 games straight. But it is in this segment that you're going to see every one of my opponents, they all got an equal opportunity to remove me from the table. And due to failure of capitalization, yielded the results in my favor. Now, you're definitely going to want to tune into part 3, because that is where you're going to see an explosion of shots, shot making, recovery, and of course break and runs. In part 1 you saw a few break and runs. In part 3 you're going to see a few more, and also you're going to see a few table clearances. Once my opponents made a mistake, I was able to capitalize. I only needed 1 chance, and even after giving them a chance, also when they didn't capitalize, I was able to clear the rack and wrap it up. So that is my 8th game in a row, and this is my 3rd game in a row in this upload. I do believe that a water break is most important here, so I went around to the back there to have a little water break as the game is being wrapped up. The place is in a frenzy. 8 games in a row. I'm now on 10 points, and I'm now tied with the leader of the tournament from day 1. So at this point, I believe I heard a few questions that were being asked to one of the players. Who do you want to win this particular game? And in part 1, they would have said they wanted me to win. But in part 2 here, it literally doesn't matter, because the opponent that is now coming on the table here, he got the most, or he got the best opportunity, because like my other opponents, they didn't get a chance to get to the 8. This opponent here that you're gonna see, he actually got more than one chance, which a lot of the players didn't. And of course, this is where I actually knew that I was gonna run away with the game, because I got so close to defeat. It almost felt like I was defeated in this particular game. But let's have a look at the rock. Let's see how it played out. Nice break there. I think he's a bit concerned, because I think he too was also the player that received consecutive break and runs. So he too is a bit concerned. As the break off took place, he walked out, and he knew that this was also perhaps a high probability, considering the way how I was playing. It would have been a high opportunity here for another break and run, which would have mean that I've seated him two games in a row in this particular match. So I guess he's hoping for an opportunity. I don't intend on giving him one, but I'm just making a deep assessment of the rock here after that water break. Just a little break in transition in the mental game, but I'm playing well, I'm feeling good. And now let's have a look at what's going on here. So I've assessed the rock, and I've decided to go for the stripes into the side. Stripes are quite open. The 9 ball is in the opening of the top right pocket. So is the 11. There's a bit of cluster there that I need to negotiate for. But I only have 1 ball down in this half of the table. It's not a tough shot, but it's not a tough shot. But it's also not an easy one. I'm definitely going to need to lay a stroke down on this ball. I did make an error here, because I was actually trying to go 2 reels on this finish kind of cut shot. I think a better option would have been to go 1 reel naturally and float up into the middle of the table. But I was afraid of the speed of the table, so I'm certain that that is why I decided to go 2 reels. And as you can see, the table is quite quick. I didn't even hit the area that I wanted to, but I missed that shot there, and my opponent has gotten his first chance at the table. Now my opponent here that you're seeing, you weren't able to see him play in part 1, but he's I should say a very erratic and very aggressive, makes quick decision when he's down on the table. He doesn't give himself a lot of chance to think, because he plays with a vibe. He plays, he's not a player like myself who is very methodical and very calculated. He plays with how he plays according to how he feels. And if the shot can be made and an opportunity presents itself, he's not going to back down. But it is in this game that you're going to see him play a shot that he never usually plays. This guy does not play safe. Once he sees the shot, he's just going to go for it regardless. It's not the correct way to play, but if it yields him results, then I'm not in a position to say that is the wrong way to play. It's just that with that methodology of playing, you're going to find yourself selling out a lot more games than you ought to. When you can actually play safe, you choose to play an aggressive, tough shot. Anyways, let's get back to the rock. I'm back on the table there. And now I begin to take my chances here to run this table out. I have the 15 ball. There you can see, not the 15 ball, pardon me. I think that is the 11 ball. I believe, well, I'm sorry, that is the 15 ball actually. So see, I've placed my hand into the area that I would like to be. So I'm just going to pocket this 9 and float over with a bit of topspin here into that zone there. That is the only problem shot that I would have had. And I've landed nicely into that area there. So now that I've landed into that zone, it's all a matter now of just pocketing this ball either in the side or in the corner. I'm having a look at what's the best option here. There is no room for missing, because regardless of how strong or weak the player is, all these players that are on this table here, they are more than capable of running an open table if it is that the pressure is not high. So I've decided to take the shot into the side, taking it easy. A cut down rail would have been maybe a lot better, but I thought that I was just going to take a simple roll shot there and take whatever the table offers me. Ideally, I would have loved to be able to see the 11 ball here, but I did not get enough top spin, and I did not want to foul the shot to cause any form of controversy in the match. So I decided to take what the table has offered me here. Now, earlier when I had missed that 14, it would have been almost like I hurt myself, but it actually played me justice now, because I was able to play off the rail and getting a bit wild there though, guys. Definitely I was hoping for a bit of luck. The table, as you can see, is quite fast. It just touched the rail, cut the 14, went 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 rails a while ago just to get position. So I definitely got lucky, because several bad things could have happened on that shot. So even though I missed that 14 ball earlier, it actually becomes my saving grace, because now I was able to block the pocket for the 6 ball that he has near to that bottom right corner pocket, and I was also able to save myself because it's close to the pocket, so I was able to play off the rail and get this nice position that I have here. Now, even with that bit of luck, I'm still not ideal on the shot, because I'm on the wrong side of the 11 ball here, and I only have 1 pocket for the 8, so I'll need to stay on the same side where the 11 ball is. So I need to play with a bit of inside spin. I'm a bit short, I'm not able to stretch, I'm not feeling comfortable, so I'm using the mechanical bridge with inside spin. As easy as the shot may seem, it actually was more difficult than it appeared to be. And as you can see with that miss, you can see how far that cue ball went down, because the table is absolutely quick. And here you can see aggressively he's down in a matter of seconds. I don't think that he gave the table enough thought as it relates to what's the best shot to take. I think he just went down and took the shot that was right in front of him. I don't think he assessed his position where he wanted to be. So now he's going to play something that he never usually plays, and that is a safe. Alright, and that was a good shot there, because he's now on the 11 ball, or he has now snookered me from the 11 ball here, which is ideally how it is that amateur pro players play. They will kind of slightly open the rack a little bit, play a safe, leave you with a tough shot or no shot, and if it is that you miss the shot or you miss touching the ball, then it would give them a ball in hand, and that would be suffice for them to run the table. So that was a great decision there by Courtney. He doesn't have any cluster, he doesn't have a problem shot. Naturally, if this was just a regular day, a regular game, it wasn't a tournament of this magnitude, I believe that he would have gone for that difficult combination. I've seen this guy play some really ridiculous shots that you think that he's not going to make, and he fires them into the pocket, bang. So I don't take him lightly. I do know that he makes a lot of blunders, but I also know that he's capable of removing me from the table whilst I'm in this dead stroke zone. Now I'm going to kick at this 11 ball here. My aim was just to touch it, and whatever happens, happens. If I could have made it, that would have been great. That would have been a fine shot, but I still would not have been on the 8. Anyway, that was a good touch. That's one of my favorite parts of the game, the kicking aspect. That's something that I've studied a lot, and of course you can find links in the description box below to various kicking systems that I've demonstrated on this channel. So check that description box below. So already Courtney is down, pocketing his first 2 object balls. He's in nice position here, nice control. He has the 6, he has the 4, and he has the 7 ball. So he just needs to just maintain nice control there, coming 2 rails back and out. And he's now in primary position, almost dead straight. Well, he's off straight on the 6 here. Maybe a bit stun into the rail and back out near to the middle of the table. Very nice. And he's ideal. If you notice that he's just getting down, he's shooting, there's no real assessment of his stance. I think he's just playing, as I mentioned before, with a vibe, with a feel. And here, it is at this point here, I want you to have a look at that young man, Tyreek. He holds his face there. Not sure if he sensed that Courtney might be missing, but he holds his head down. And it's almost like he jinxed the shot, because that shot was almost unmissable. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure how Courtney overcut. I think it could have been the adrenaline rush. I don't think it was nerves, because he had gotten through majority of the problem areas. He played a fine safety, extracting a mistake in terms of position. So I'm not sure. This was perhaps the closest anyone in this entire tournament had gotten to defeat me. I literally did not expect to come back to the table. But I have a dead straight in shot here, a slight angle. And let's have a look at how much the confidence was brewing inside my arms. My mind was steady. I was very composed. I was very calculated. I was very methodical. And here you can see Tyreek is now, I'm not sure if he's hoping for a good shot or he's hoping for a miss. But he's hoping for something though. Bang into the pocket. Steady rocket fired into the pocket. The crowd is in a frenzy. Everybody is like, absolutely. The crowd is now coming back in slightly here. And now pocketing this 8 ball here to take my 9th game in a row and the 4th game in a row in this particular upload. Now, as I mentioned before, and I'm mentioning again, the performance in this whole entire tournament was not a flawless one, but it was one that was quite entertaining. It had a lot of value. I was composed, I was relaxed, I was into a zone that a lot of players may never get the chance to get into or know how it feels. At this point, I wasn't even hearing, smelling. All I was doing is just seeing the object ball going into the pocket. I was seeing the outs. I was seeing the patterns clearly as day. And there you can see an opportunity, more than one, that he got to take me off the table, but he wasn't able to capitalize. And therefore then, this is exactly the outcome. So now it's a tense match, because the player that you're now seeing on the screen, which is Mr. Leroy Jones, he is on 10 points. He's the leader of the tournament. On day 1, he was running away. And now I am on 11 points, because this is my 9th game in a row. And on day 2, I started on 2 points. So now I'm 11. If he wins, he's going to be tied with me. If I win, I'll be leading him by 2. So it's at this point now where the crowd is not on anybody's side. It is at this point now where the 2 leaders of the tournament are now at the table. A dry break there was executed, and with a strong player. He is perhaps one of the strongest player, if not the strongest player in the field, alongside myself. And as you can see there, there's not much problem. The 8 ball might be of some concern, but I believe he has 2 pockets. He can land on either side of the 8. He just needs to be very precise. As you can see, he's very methodical, very controlled. He's not making the cue ball move a lot. Stop shots, roll shots, follow shots, draw shots, stun draw. He's just keeping it very simple. So he has the 10, which he has just pocketed. He has the 13 ball here. And he has the 9 ball that is hanging in the jaws of the pocket. Of course, a link is in the description box below that will show you how to handle pocket hangers. They are not easy shots. They're easy shots to pocket, but they are very difficult to play precise position from. So definitely don't take pocket hangers for granted. Now this is definitely an opportunity to run out and to remove me from the table without giving me a chance. So I think he's playing with some sort of mental defensive option in his mind. He decides not to take the 11 because he could have taken the 11 and then take the 9, but he decides that just in case anything might happen, then he would have had the 11 ball as a defensive option. And this is naturally how we all play here in my country and in my arena here. This is naturally how we play. We don't play and open up the table. We often play with an intent to play a little bit of defense. So that's why he took the 9 in the pocket rather than the 11, which I think would have been primarily the mental error, the physical error in this game. So now he has an angle on the 11. He has already calculated the natural path from the first rail to kind of bump open the 8 here. And unfortunately there, he went right in between the 8 and the 3 ball, or is that the 8 and the 5? They have the same color or similar colors. The colors are close in proximity. So now, unfortunately there, he wasn't able to kind of nudge the 8 or the 5 to kind of open up the 8 a little bit. So now he has left himself with an it's a very makeable shot, but it's an undesirable one. This is not one that he would want to do in such a pressure situation. And there you can see, very disappointing there. He has missed. I wouldn't say it's an elementary bank, but it's definitely one that he is more than capable of making. And again, he has left me in this dead stroke zone with an open table and a clear shot at my first ball here. I will not disappoint you. And as we are bringing this match to the end, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share my content to your pool communities. There are lots of lessons there on the channel. Break and run videos, kicking videos, safety plays, position play. Lots of entertainment are there on my channel that will give you a lot more value to your game. So as I begin to construct this very methodical and detailed run out here, or I should say a clearance, again, as I said, if my opponent has given me a chance, I will take it, and I don't need more than one. Well, at least I didn't need more than one in this particular match. And if my opponent gets a chance from me and they do not capitalize, if I come back to the table in this particular match, I was able to capitalize. If you've made it to this part of the video, of course, as I mentioned before, leave me a comment, leave me a like, share it out, and do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. You're definitely going to want to tune into part 3, because you're going to see some exquisite shots that were executed under the most intense pressure when a flip of the script has taken place, where the crowd really went against me in terms of they wanted someone to slow me down so that they could actually have a chance to win a few games themselves. But I actually run away with the whole entire tournament. So there you can see in very nice detail run out there, or nicely constructed run out. Everything is calculated. The last remaining 3 balls are connected. A stop shot here maybe, or a stun follow slightly here, right? I have a natural angle to go one rail and back and in towards the 7. The 7 ball is close to the side pocket, so all I need here is just to come off the rail and back out. The angle is there. Okay, so it was a bit straight. It wasn't the angle that I needed. I didn't want to leave myself a bit too high. I just needed to get a shot on the 7. And all I have to do here is just pocket the 7 in the side and to land on the 8. So a link is in the description box below, guys. If you've made it to this part of the video and you're entertained and you're getting some value, of course, feel free to donate anything to my channel through the PayPal link that is in the description box below. Everything is greatly appreciated and the growth will continue. And as we bring this rack to the end, you can see, again, this segment, this particular upload was more of the ability to capitalize whenever given the chance by an opponent, or if you give your opponent a chance and they make a blunder, you're able to clear up and correct your mistakes. The crowd is now in awe. I'm now on 12 points. I have 5 racks to win. Prior to the start of this day 2 here, this match in day 2, no one would have thought that I would have actually gotten to this much points. Literally everybody is bamboozled by what they're seeing. At the end of the match, a lot of them gave me a lot of compliments in terms of how I played. So I know for certain that this match was a great one. I want to thank you all my subscribers for the continued support. I want to thank you for tuning into my channel on each and every upload, leaving me a comment down below, of course, and of course sharing and enjoying my success that I've garnered over the past 10 to 12 years in this game. Do take care until next time. This is Apex Elenia signing out, and until the next upload, we will talk soon. Continue practicing with consistency.